I don't know exactly when my family stopped seeing me as their son and started seeing me as their solution, someone they could drain until there was nothing left. Maybe it was when I started covering the mortgage. Or maybe it was the day my sister-in-law dropped her kids off at my doorstep, without knocking, without asking, like I was just part of the furniture. But the moment it truly shattered was when my own mother screamed at me for cutting off the internet, and I realized she didn't miss me. She missed my credit card. I'm 28th single. I work a solid IT job from home and earn more than enough to live comfortably. I don't live paycheck to paycheck, I live with intention. But 2 years ago, when my parents were drowning in debt, I did what I thought was right. I moved back into my childhood home to help them stay afloat. At first, it felt good, purposeful. I paid rent. I bought groceries. I covered the bills, even threw money toward the mortgage. Not because they asked, because I wanted to, because I thought, this is what family does. Meanwhile, my older brother, Nathan, 35 and the golden child, was nowhere to be found. Married young, had 2 kids, and somehow kept his halo clean despite never lifting a finger. Nathan had this uncanny ability to fail upward. And my parents? They worshipped him for it. He and his wife Sarah had 2 kids, Jake, 7, and Sophie, 4. I adored those kids, but I never signed up to be their full-time sitter. At first, Sarah would ask me to watch them during quick errands. That turned into hours, then days. Then she just started texting me after she'd already dropped them off. Sometimes she didn't even text, just left them on the porch like a package. One afternoon, I was deep in a Zoom meeting when my doorbell rang. I ignored it. Then my phone buzzed. Kids are at the door. Be back in a few hours. The X. By the time I opened the door, Jake and Sophie were standing there with their backpacks, and Sarah was already halfway down the block. That was the moment something inside me cracked. I confronted her later, told her flat out this wasn't happening anymore. I wasn't just lounging around. I had work, deadlines, meetings. I wasn't a free daycare. She rolled her eyes. You work from home. What else are you doing? I turned to my parents for support. Surely they'd back me up. My mom sighed. It's just a few hours. She needs help. You're home anyway. Just a few hours. A few hours of watching children while juggling IT support tickets, managing conference calls, trying not to lose my job. Apparently, that wasn't enough to earn their respect. Then came the guilt trip. After everything we've done for you, my mom snapped. This is how you repay us? You're ungrateful. Ungrateful. As if the bills I'd paid, the groceries I stocked, the mortgage I kept afloat, meant nothing. That night, I started looking for apartments. Within a week, I'd signed a lease, packed my bags, and left. No warning. No key left behind. No forwarding address. And I cut everything off. No more rent, groceries, bills, mortgage payments. I figured maybe the silence would be a wake-up call. It wasn't. About a month later, my phone rang. Why is the internet shut off? My mom barked. Because I stopped paying for it, I said calmly. How could you do this to us? She screeched. Not how are you or why did you leave? Just rage. Because her access to Netflix and Facebook had vanished. Then Nathan called. You just abandoned them. Didn't even warn them. I laughed bitterly. I told them I was done. Not my fault they didn't believe me. He had the audacity to say, you need to fix this. They might lose the house. Not my problem. That's when he snapped. You're a selfish little I hung up. Soon after, the harassment began. Spam flooded my mailbox. Parenting magazines. Flyers from daycare centers. My email got hit with job alerts for babysitters and preschool aides. They were mocking me. Then one night, I noticed deep scratch marks around my lock. I checked my security cam footage, and there he was. Nathan, trying to break in. I called him. What the hell were you doing? He had the nerve to say, Mom wanted to talk to you. Relax. You tried to break into my apartment. You're being dramatic. I called my landlord, filed a police report, changed the locks. But the worst was still coming. A few days later, HR called. We've received several anonymous complaints about you, my manager said. Someone had accused me of running an illegal daycare out of my apartment, that I was neglecting children, that I had abandoned them at an office building. They tried to get me fired. My hands were shaking as I dug up everything: texts, emails, camera footage. I wasn't just under attack, I was under siege. That was it. I hired a lawyer. I laid it all out: financial abuse, emotional blackmail, forced childcare, harassment, attempted break-in, false reports to my employer. He looked over the evidence, leaned back and said, "You've got a harassment and defamation case on your hands." Perfect. While my lawyer built the case, I focused on the one thing they feared most: money. Without me, the foundation collapsed. The mortgage fell behind. The lights got shut off. Creditors started circling. My dad sold furniture to make ends meet. My mom begged their church for help. Nathan and Sarah weren't doing any better. I found out later that CPS got involved. With the house deemed unstable, Jake and Sophie were sent to Sarah's parents. Nathan lost his job. Sarah left, with the kids. My parents lost the house. All of it. Crumbled. You'd think I'd feel triumphant. I didn't. I missed birthdays. I missed quiet mornings with my dad before the world woke up. I missed being a son, not a wallet. I still remember the night I moved out. I walked past the living room where I used to build pillow forts with Nathan, watch cartoons with my dad. For a split second, I paused. Not because I was second-guessing, but because I remembered what used to be. That memory burned more than the betrayal ever could. Now, I live in a small, bright apartment. It's quiet. It's clean. It's mine. I've been promoted. I travel. I sleep without tension in my chest. I rebuilt something they never gave me: peace. Sometimes, I wonder if they ever realized what they lost. Sometimes I feel the guilt creeping in, because even if they didn't deserve me, I still loved them. But I remind myself, love is not servitude. Helping someone is not the same as sacrificing yourself. And sometimes, choosing yourself means losing people who only loved you for what you could give them. What would you have done? Was I wrong for walking away, or was it the only choice left? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And if you felt something reading this, hit like. Maybe even subscribe, because sometimes the hardest stories are the ones we need to tell the most.